Welcome to another edition of the Coach Daboll Show presented by Ford. I'm Bob Papa. On Sunday, it's the Giants and the Commanders. Big show lined up for you. Carl Banks will go to the coach's tape with strategy. We'll visit with Shan OHara as we get you set for the Giants and the Washington Commanders. But as always, we're joined by the head coach of the New York Giants, Brian Daboll, along with Carl Banks. And Coach, a long Monday night into Tuesday. Obviously a lot of frustration because there were so many things to be excited about with this team, but you were not able to make the plays to win the game.
Yeah, and that's okay to be frustrated. You know, you put everything you got into this game, meetings, practice, the players leave it out there on the field, and it's important to them. It's important to all of us. So obviously there's going to be emotion when you lose a game like that. That was kind of back and forth. It was a physical game, on the road, night. The crowd was awesome. And, you know, we came up short, and that's, you know, that is a frustrating thing when you put everything you got into it and you fall a little bit short.
Coach, you know, the saying is you have to have a short memory, right? But there's some parts of that game, as long as you have the next game on the schedule, that can travel. The good things can travel into the next game. Is that correct? Is that the right way to think about it?
Yeah, I think so. And I think there was a lot of good examples of how we want to play the game, the physical nature, the effort, the relentlessness, and ultimately we came up short on a few plays, and that's what cost us in the end.
All right, let's spin it forward to the game on Sunday. You have the Commanders. You played them once already this season. Jaden Daniels has been dynamic. It looks like he's getting better too, if that's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, he's an outstanding young talent. He's kind of taken this league by storm in terms of his play, his legs, his arm, his accuracy, his leadership. You see all those things on tape, and he's got that team believing.
Coach, I know that coaches look at a lot of different things from around the league. I'm sure before the game on Monday night, and I'm sure teams around the league in their meetings this week are like, all right, this is how you defend a Hail Mary, because you can't let somebody get behind you. Pretty wild play that they won on last week.
Yeah, an unbelievable play. I thought obviously he did a great job of extending, giving the receivers time to get down the field and scrambling from one side to the next. The line did a good job of protecting, and then he laid it up, and the ball gets tipped, and they're in a good position back there with no one around them. At the end of the day, they made that one play to help them get over the hump.
Offensively, besides Daniels, which is an offense in and of itself, they have a big physical running game, too.
Yeah.
Their running back is down. They're downhill runners in their run game as well.
Yeah, they are. And every time we play Brian Robinson, he stands out on tape of how physical he is of a runner. And they do a lot of different things with their running game schematically, and that include Jaden. And we'll see where that's at based off of, his injury that he's had here last week. But, they do some unique things because of the quarterback's ability to run it. But their runners are really good runners, and they're tough. This is a tough running back room led by Brian.
Coach, you were able to move the ball against them when you played them the first time, but it also feels like they're starting to understand Dan Quinn's defense better because they're playing better defense each week too. What is it about their defense that makes it a challenge?
Yeah, they're attacking defense. They get up the field, they do a good job with their front, mixing their games. I think they're pressuring a little bit more. And some of their players are really kind of stepping up, some of which played for Coach Quinn at earlier stops are doing a nice job of getting pressure on the quarterback. And it's, they're improving. So, again, they're playing good, I'd say complementary football, and they have a lot of confidence.
Coach, we appreciate a couple minutes as always. We're just getting started here on the program, though. When we come back, we're going to go to the auditorium where Carl and Coach will take a look at an extra effort play as the Giants come short against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday Night Football. More of that here on the Coach Daboll Show presented by Ford.
So glad you can join us from Pittsburgh. Monday Night Football. It's the Giants and Steelers. Play fake. Jones back. Deep ball down the middle of the field, and it's complete down to the 15-yard line. Darius Slayton takes the snap, back to throw, under pressure, and he's going to get grabbed and he's going to get sacked back at the 43-yard line. Dexter Lawrence got the first hands on him, and then the Giants came up and cleaned it up at the 2-minute warning. A loss of 10 on the play. Jones takes the snap, back, fires one to his left, completes it to Slayton, who runs out of a tackle, shoots at midfield, and finally tripped up at the 45-yard line of Pittsburgh. Wilson climbs the pocket, under pressure, gets sacked hard. Shan OHara picks up the sack. Giants are going to run a draw up the middle and dashing down the left sideline to the 10, to the 5, to the goal line. It's a touchdown! What a play. The Giants ran a draw, and Tracy runs it in from 45 yards out. Wilson in a shotgun, under pressure, runs out of a sack. Wilson out to the 39, fumbled it, and it's recovered by the Giants at the 36-yard line. Bobby Okereke punched it out, recovered it, and he got up.
There were certainly a lot of positive moments in that Giants loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday night. Some big plays on both sides of the ball as we welcome you back to the Coach Daboll Show presented by Ford. Time for extra effort as we take a look at Tyrone Tracy's touchdown run. Who better to talk about it than Coach Daboll and Carl Banks?
Coach, we again go through the extra effort plays, the plays that go over and above the X's and O's, and this is one that kind of sets the tone and to keep this game right where you wanted it.
Yeah, it's 23-9, kind of beginning of the fourth, a few minutes to go. And, we're doing a good job of driving it. We're trying to maintain, balance with the pass game, the screen game, the run game. And this was a great example here of great finish, and it's 2nd and 10. Again, they were playing a little bit more split safety here, but now they're dropping down into a post-high look. So, we're running a shotgun run, and start from the line of scrimmage here from the side view. You can see the movement on the double teams, in the inside 4 players where they're pushing, Pittsburgh's defenders 4 yards off the ball. Slayton does an excellent job of making a decision between the corner and the safety. Doesn't think he could quite get to the safety, so he locks arms with the corner. And Tracy, you'll see it from the backside, does a great job, and you can look at it here, of pressing the hole and really affecting this safety, who essentially is unblocked and is the force player that's dropping down into the hole. 84, Theo does a nice job of just widening the hole, so when we press it, you can get a better look from the back view. When we press it, it keeps a backdoor cut for the running back, and really his detail of his ball handling and his shoulders being square to keep this guy from just running and falling back into the hole is really what makes the play. It's a great job up front of getting a hat for a hat, but Tracy's press right there causes this guy to freeze for 1 second.
I mean, he never really commits until he commits. I mean, he's straight ahead, and the safety thinks he's about to run right through that hole. That's a unique skill set.
Yeah, and it's hard to do at times. And again, we're getting a little bit of a different look. They're in a 2nd and 10 defense. They got 2 linebackers mugged up in the gaps, but it starts with the communication up front. And then overall, the execution, just a nice job by Tracy of freezing the safety, and then a huge block by Slay, who makes the decision,
Sure.
like, I'm not going to be able to get to him, so I'm going to go ahead and hang the corner for a second. No wasted movement, slices the cut, gets vertical, and then he's off to the races. And, Slay sees it's a great effort by Wandell, great finish by Tyrone. John Michael's running down. Theo was a big play for us here. To kind of get back into it early in the fourth quarter and stay balanced in our attack.
Well, yeah, and I think when you talk about the resilience of your team, right, needing a play.
Yeah.
Right, and it didn't seem like the players got down, as evidenced by the way they're blocking this play, feeling that they could get something accomplished.
Yeah, I thought they played physical. Up front, this is a heck of a defense. One of the better defenses in the league, and again, I thought we played a physical game, and it was good to get some of these explosives. Explosives helped us this game, and we could use more of those as we go. But this was a great example of kind of the extra effort, the technique, the fundamental of what it needs to be.
Players like this and plays like that gives you hope that things can get going in the right direction for a long time.
Yeah, and you got a lot of young guys here with Tracy, see Wandell in here, Theo, John Michael, Slay's the old hat around here, but we just got to continue to build and improve and, keep the right mindset and keep growing day by day.
Obviously, extra effort like that with Tyrone Tracy is why the Giants selected him in this year's draft, and he certainly has paid dividends. Now 2 100-yard rushing games so far this season. When we come back, the Giants defense forces a big play late in the game. We'll tell you about that and much more here on the Coach Daboll Show, presented by Ford.
Let's work, baby. Let's work. Let's talk, baby. Come on, boy. I'm right here. Come on, Bobby. Come on, Bobby. Is it me? I think so. Come on. I thought you were about to take it to the crib, Bobby.
The Giants needed a big play by their defense, and they got it from Micah McFadden and Bobby Okereke. As we welcome you back to the Coach Daboll Show, presented by Ford, time to send it over to Shan OHara.
Thanks, Bob. All right, Micah, appreciate you taking a little time. I got to start off right out of the gate. The Monday Night Football game, dude, you clearly came in and forced the fumble, but they gave Bobby Okereke the credit. What's up with that?
Yeah, man, I think they had too many camera angles on that one. He might have zoomed in and got Bobby's punch in there late. But no, great play by him. Obviously, we tagged him for the sack, so always good when you can do that. And then obviously he got the recovery as well, so it's a big play for sure.
All right, so listen, we're turning the page now to Washington. Obviously, they're leading the division right now. Mm-hmm. Big game at home. Take me through, when you have a physical runner like Brian Robinson, getting yards after contact, tough to bring him down. What is your aiming point? Does any of that change? And take me through your techniques in tackling. Why don't you explain some of those things?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all about obviously your angle to start and how you're attacking. We always say near hip.
So if I'm on angle outside, I'm running outside.
Right, you want to attack the near hip angle instead of getting over top, because then he can cut back, obviously.
Gotcha.
And it's kind of the same thing if we're in a vice tackle as well and there's another defender on the outside. Right. We both want to attack our near hip, so then we can make a vice tackle at the point.
You're attacking this one, he's coming in and kind of squeezing the
full speed. You don't got to break down because it's two guys making a play together. So
okay, what if it's a downhill run?
Downhill run, obviously
right at the B gap.
In the hole. Obviously, you just want to get low on a guy like Brian because he's a bigger back, physical guy. So near foot, near shoulder, that's where you get your power. So my near foot, my near shoulder, inside and low, and then wrap and squeeze. If he's going to bounce off, you might have to roll. And then obviously he'll be running low through the hole as well, so you might have to get lower than him, to get that leverage angle.
The stiff arm has kind of become like this, like you're getting mossed, right?
Yeah.
The moss, you get the catch. You get stiff arm, you're getting mushed,
exposed,
right?
Yeah.
How do you defend the stiff arm?
Right, it's usually open field. You're kind of going to have a little time to, dictate what he's going to do, whether he's going to try to shake you or throw that stiff arm. So, we teach it here is if he throws a stiff arm, you either want to chop, and then that other arm can come over for the ball as well and punch, and then wrap, like I said, near foot, near shoulder, so swat the arm. You kind of want to anticipate it, because if you don't, they're definitely going to get in your chest or on your helmet. And sometimes you can even get underneath the stiff arm if you just dip and go for the legs or low ankles as well.
Listen, you've been thriving in Shane Bowen's system. What do you like about this system?
It allows the players to just play free, play in space a little bit, whether we're zone, whether we're more match zone, or if we're man. There's some things where guys can just communicate. As long as we communicate, we can play fast that way. And then there can be a lot of little things depending on the play, little adjustments that can happen. So as long as we alert that pre-snap, or we can get a beat on it, ahead of time, be in good position, and then make the play when they come our way.
Thanks so much for the time. I appreciate it. We're going to get to work on the stats. We're going to see if you can get credit for the half forced fumble. I don't know if that's even a stat, if that's even allowed. But
talk to those guys.
Micah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Good luck against the Commanders.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere. We've got a lot more to come on the Coach Daboll Show.
The game of the weekend when you stop and think about it.
And one that has no shortage of storylines. This could be Tiki Barber's last game of his career.
Handoff Barber. Finds a hole off the left side into the 5. Barber to the goal line. Touchdown, Tiki Barber. What a run.
Never say die, huh?
Manning over center on a 1st and 10 for the 45.
Draw for Barber, squeaks left. Tiki runs out of a tackle. Tiki across midfield. Tiki to the 30. He needs a block to score. 10, 5, touchdown Tiki Barber! Tiki's got 2 and the Giants widen their lead. Hand off Barber, runs right, finds his way through a hole, to the 40, 35, 30, Barber to the 20, being chased from behind to the 10, to the 5, touchdown Tiki Barber!
Over 250
yards!
Simply remarkable. What a night it has been for Tiki Barber. He has dominated this game from beginning to end.
Tiki Barber's last regular season game against Washington, 234 yards rushing, helping the Giants get into the postseason. As we welcome you back to the Coach Daboll Show presented by Ford. It's the Giants and Commanders at MetLife Stadium. Time to go to the coach's tape. Strategy with Carl Banks. And Carl, we're going to take a look at the brilliance of Jaden Daniels, who just keeps getting better and better each and every week.
Well, Bob, yes, and it's a combination of Daniels and McCurlin. And here, let's take a look. This is basically a one-man route. McCurlin's going to go on a go route. Safety should be coming over to help. He just outruns everybody, and you have a quarterback who can put it as far as it needs to go. This is just a basic play action pass, quarterback sets, receiver's not open yet, right?
No.
He just keeps running past, anticipation by the quarterback, drops it in for a big play.
All right, we're going to take a look at another example where, Carl, this shows the athleticism of Daniels, but it also shows the high football IQ of Terry McLaurin and how they're working in concert on a play that initially looks busted.
Yeah, let's just take a look here at the quarterback first, Bob. He's back, pressure's coming, right? Now here he is, quarterback's eyes are down the field here. He's surveying, receivers, no one's open yet, right? So the pressure starts to get to him. I'll stop it here. Now he's got to move. Like he doesn't see anything down the field. So we'll stop it here and then go to his receiver. Terry McCurlin, he's right here. He's looking for his quarterback. Quarterback is still under duress. Watch what happens here. He frees himself, he uncovers, you can see it, but the quarterback throws him open. Now he has a shot to throw the ball right at the sideline right here. If he throws this, nobody's going to complain because he can catch that. But because they're on a different level in terms of their IQ, quarterback scrambles, look where he throws it. He throws a go route, basically.
Yeah.
It's an over-go route.
Yeah, so, Terry McLaurin is one of the most underrated receivers in the NFL. He is prospering with Jaden Daniels, and Daniels has the arm, and he's getting better and better. This was, again, earlier in the season against the Giants, and if you're not disciplined in your rush lanes, he is going to absolutely crunch you.
Well, even when you are disciplined, and this is good balance here by the Giants' front four, you'll run this, no twists, no stunts, right? There's guy here, 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 but he sees an opening here, or he'll probably create one here. Guy gets pushed a little bit, he takes off because there's an opening, Bob. But what happens when he takes off, you got to have your second level defenders coming, closing, and closing, so that when he takes off and runs like this, he has to pay.
All right, now let's take a look at the pressure. And this is Dan Quinn's defense, and it's getting better and better. I'm surprised at how good they've been, but they do it with a group. Yeah, they do it with a group here, Bob. This is just 4 rushing here. They show 5, it comes off the edge, but the edge rusher here is basically a hug guy. He's got the back one-on-one. But what they do, they just put good pressure there. You miss a block, 2 blocks, and your quarterback gets sacked. There's nothing really special about this other than the fact that they're just outworking the guys up front. Your left defensive end crashes down. Here, he crashes, so he gets washed. This guy is free. You've got to keep your head on a swivel because the guy who makes the tackle is the guy that just keeps coming inside. So it's just an effort. He comes across, makes the tackle. That's a look at this week's strategy with Carl Banks. Carl, some final thoughts on this game against the Commanders. Obviously, Washington hurt the Giants with the run game. We saw Pittsburgh with Najee Harris get a good run game going early. They tightened it up in the second half. I want to see how the Giants deal with this attack of the Commanders.
Well, the attack of the Commanders, Bob, is going to be contain the quarterback, but you have to be disciplined when you play the run because their running back is really good as well.
The Giants did a lot of good things offensively against Pittsburgh, but too many mistakes, Carl, in important spots, whether it was a drop pass, a bad read by the quarterback. These are things that they can't afford to let slip through their hands because Washington can score points.
It's simple. Value possessions. They've got to value every possession, and that requires attention to detail.
This week's game between the Giants and the Commanders is presented by Quest, proud health partner of the New York Giants. That wraps it up for this week's show. For Carl Banks, Coach Daboll, Shan OHara, and our entire crew, I'm Bob Papa. Thanks for joining us for this edition of the Coach Daboll Show, presented by Ford.